Hey, it's Chris. I'm back. Yes, I am back in my friendly confines. I even have a jacket on. I missed doing these videos, to be honest, so I made two last week, even though I said I wasn't going to make any. But things are busy, so stay tuned, by the way. If Kamala Harris announces her vice presidential pick later today, which is Monday, I will make a video on that. So stay tuned for that. But I didn't want to make one that talked about who it might be because I had already done that, and by the time this published, maybe she'd already made her pick. So by Tuesday, we know we will get a VP pick for Kamala Harris. I will make a video about that. But right now, I want to talk about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And the reason I want to talk about him is because not that many people have been talking about him since Joe Biden dropped out of the race. He's kind of disappeared, but that changed on Sunday when Robert F. Kennedy Jr., in a video with Roseanne Barr, of all people, posted something on X in which he tried to explain or preempt a story that was coming out in the New Yorker. It is currently out, and I will post it in the comment section so you can read the whole thing. But there's an episode recounted in this New Yorker story about, stick with me here, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was falconing, because that's a thing people do with falcons, when he came across a dead bear. Now, rather than leave the bear, as I would do, he picked the bear up because he wanted to skin it at some point in the future. But circumstances intervened. He had a dinner at Peter Luger's steakhouse in New York, and then he had to catch a plane. So rather than keep the dead bear, he and some friends posed the dead bear in Central Park as though it had been the victim of a bicycling accident, and that's how it had been killed. And it was covered in the newspapers like that it had been killed in a bicycling accident and caused somewhat of a stir. Okay, why does all this matter? Well, it just points out that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is a total weirdo, right? Like, who picks up a dead bear for skinning it after falconing? Who decides that they're going to pose it in Central Park as though it had been killed in a bicycling accident? None of that stuff is normal, people. It's just not a thing. So that gets me to the larger Robert F. Kennedy Jr. conversation here. Now, as people might remember, I have advocated for the fact that I thought he should have been included in the June 27th debate between Donald Trump and, at the time, Democratic nominee Joe Biden, because I thought he had garnered enough support over enough time that he deserved a spot in that debate. Well, he didn't make that debate. So I'm not totally down on Robert F. Kennedy Jr., but I do think the strangeness of all of this comes at a really bad time for him. So his MO was, look, Biden and Trump are choices that people don't want, and therefore I'm a third alternative, and it makes sense. Well, Kamala Harris now has a bunch of excitement behind her candidacy. Republicans are aligned behind Trump. The Robert F. Kennedy Jr. candidacy doesn't make any real sense anymore. So I think what you're seeing is a fade from him before the bear posing in Central Park story, a fade from him. He was at 10, 12% in national polling. He's now down to 5, 4, 3. I think it's probably going to continue like that. Now, that doesn't mean he can't still be a factor if he can get on ballots, right? If he can get on the ballot in Michigan and Pennsylvania and Wisconsin and Arizona, some of these swing states, look, 1 or 2 or 3% that he gets could make a difference, right? We expect this race to be very, very close. Most of the polling that's come out since Kamala Harris emerged as the de facto Democratic nominee has suggested that she's running basically even with Donald Trump in all of these places, whereas Joe Biden was running significantly behind. So we expect it to be close. So 1 or 2 points is not nothing. But the idea that Kennedy is a major factor, I feel like, is fading. And it seems as though his candidacy, the explanation for it, the reasoning behind it, and what he's talking about really is getting less and less and less relevant. So I think that we're seeing the fade of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. My guess is in September and October, his polling numbers even look worse. Maybe we're talking about 3%, 2%. Again, possible for him to have an impact, but certainly not the 10, 12, 13, 14% he was getting before. And I can't imagine him returning to that number. The bear thing is weird. It doesn't mean he can't be president. I mean, he's not going to be president anyway, but it doesn't mean he can't be president. But it's strange, and it bespeaks a mind that is not someone I think we would want to be president of the United States. So read the New Yorker piece. The bear posing in Central Park story is, I think, the highlight. slash low light of it. And I think, again, indicative of the fact that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is not going to factor significantly in the presidential race in these final 3.5, 4 months. All right, that's it for me today. Unless, of course, Kamala Harris announces her VP, in which case I will make another video. Make sure you do 4 things. Subscribe to this channel. Just hit the subscribe button. Just knock it right there. Right there. We're going to 40,000 people. We're building. I'm getting some sponsorship offers, which is cool. So maybe you'll see some sponsorship stuff weaseled in here now and then. Like this video, comment on this video, tell 10 friends about this video. I'm making them every day. Happy Monday. Everybody take care.